Welcome back to the Filipino FM channel, your home for Filipino Football Manager content. Today, we're doing something kind of weird. I've made the most average player that I could possibly make in Football Manager 2023, and we're going to follow their career to see how they do. So here is our average player. I've stuck him on Dulwich Hamlet in the English lower leagues because when I looked at his current ability, the English lower leagues was kind of about where he would fall. So I wanted to put him somewhere about where he might have like an average current ability. And I quite like Dulwich Hamlet as a club, so I thought I would put him somewhere where I enjoyed it. I've also made our average player Filipino. I've done this because I kind of want to see just if he'll get any international caps and how he might do internationally. I figured if I made him English, he probably wouldn't get any caps, so we wouldn't be able to follow any kind of international career, but making him Filipino, maybe he'll get into the squad. But otherwise, here is our average player. He has 10s for all of his attributes. So he has 10s for all those technical, mental, and physical attributes. I've also given him 10s for all of his hidden attributes. So from adaptability down to versatility here, he is perfectly average at all of those attributes. Additionally, for his height and weight, I made him the average for a English male. So apparently the average height for an English male is around 178 centimeters, and the average weight for an English male is around 84 kilograms. So he is perfectly average for all of his attributes. Some other things to note about Mr. Average here. I have made him a center mid because, again, he's the most average or the most mid player of all time. So I wanted him to play mid. And I've made his birthday July 2nd, 2005, because in non-leap years, July 2nd is the midway point through the year. So his birthday will be at the most midpoint of the year. I also just find it funny that his personality is balanced. That's like the most average personality you could have. So that's quite funny. So I'm starting our average player off as a 16-year-old, again, at Dulwich Hamlet. That being said, I have frozen his attributes, so he's going to stay as the most mid, the most average player throughout the entirety of the save. And we can see what a player with 10s for all their attributes can do over the course of their career. And a final interesting note about our average player is that his current ability / recommended current ability is 80. So it's interesting because the highest current ability you can have is 200, and the midway point would be 100. So I would think that all of his technical, mental, and physical attributes being 10 would make his current ability 100, but apparently it makes it 80. So the most average player in the game has a current ability of 80, and we're going to see what Mr. Average can do over the course of his career. So I'm going to stop editing, and we will holiday till the end of his career. I think we'll just catch up with him at the end of his career and see how he did. See you then. So I ended up making a last second decision to go 5 years into the future instead. So we are on the 26th of June 2027, 5 years into the future, and our average player is still playing at Dulwich Hamlet. I'm curious to see what his match ratings are. I really just want to see like a 6.8, 6.7 match rating, just because that'd be so average. So let's see what his career stats look like. And he has a 6.79 average rating. That is so average. Let's go. All right, so season 1 with Dulwich Hamlet. He actually did really well, a 7.02 average rating, 7 goals and 4 assists. And it looks like Dulwich Hamlet's actually gotten promoted too, so he's been part of a promotion side. He hasn't scored a whole lot of goals from central midfielder, and he's just had the most average ratings. For no reason at all, that makes me so happy. Let's look at his milestones. Okay, so he does have a trophy as well. So they were the Vanarama National League South champions, and they won the English FA trophy. So our average player with a not so average 2 trophies already in his career. Looking at his attributes, he now has 10s for everything except bravery, which he has a 9 in. So I suspect he got an injury. Let's take a look at his injuries. Oh, he's actually gotten a few injuries, and including, I'm going to guess it's the torn calf muscle that probably brought that down to a 9 because he was out for 3 months. So our average player, still very average, but now with 1 9 attribute. Another interesting note, He's actually made 38 caps for the Philippines. So let's check on the Philippines and see how he's doing. Well, he's named as one of their top players. He's their vice captain and their key player. The most average player ever is actually one of the best players for the Philippines. How funny is that? But I don't think, yes, he has no goals for the Philippines. And based on his milestones, he hasn't won any trophies with them. But let's quickly look at their schedule just to see how he's doing. So here, Asian Cup second round, lost to India. Southeast Asian Games, lost in the final to Thailand. That's like the most common thing that could ever happen with the Southeast Asian Games. So he's been pretty average, I guess, for the Philippines as well. One of the top players, but it's not like he's leading the Philippines to new heights or anything like we had previously seen with our Perfect Player series. So again, 5 years into the future, our average player with a very average rating, although I would say he's done pretty well. 18 assists and 7 goals in 5 seasons. It's not too bad. Not too great on the goals end after season 1, but I think 18 assists in these few seasons is pretty decent. So let's just go to the end of his career now. I wanted to kind of just check in on him, but now let's go to the end of his career and see whether the average player had an average career. We'll see you then. All right, we are on the 23rd of June, 2037. This is the last year that we have Mr. Average Player, and it looks like he's still in the Vanarama National League, this time playing for AFC Telford. And let's take a look at him. He's definitely had a few. Why has his stamina gone down? I did freeze his attributes. I'm not sure why his stamina went down. Maybe that's just with age. But his bravery's also gone down, which indicates that he's probably had a few more injuries, which isn't super surprising. We didn't give him a low injury proneness. His injury proneness is 10. He's not a great trainer. He only has a 10 for natural fitness, so he's not really good at recovering. So I'm not really surprised that he's had a few injuries. And looking at it, there's a lot of injuries actually. Again, we saw that one from 3 months. We see a few that are a few weeks here as well. The torn hamstring for 2 months. So he's definitely had quite a few injuries throughout his career. But let's check out his career stats. Okay, I think there might be a glitch in the game because it has him playing for a lot of teams in 2036-37, but obviously he only played for AFC Telford. Okay, well that's weird, but let's go down to here. So last we saw him was at Dulwich Hamlet after season 5, so in 2027. So he continued playing for Dulwich Hamlet for a few more years, bouncing around the Vanarama South and the Vanarama National. And he actually did pretty well. I mean, 6.8, 6.7, again, pretty average ratings, a decent number of goals and assists. So yeah, I mean, he's been pretty average. He went all the way up to Sky Bet League 2, so our average player did get into the EFL. He didn't play a whole lot there or for Newport County. He made a few games for Wigan, again in Sky Bet League 2, and then in the most recent season, apparently bouncing around a lot of clubs, but eventually getting to AFC Telford, where again he was pretty average. Looking at his overall career stats, 6.78 rating. That is so average. I don't it's just making me so happy to see our average player be so average. That's just so funny. But he hasn't been bad. He's got quite a few assists, 19 goals, 353 appearances. So honestly, our average player has made a really good career out of just being very average. So looking over the milestones for our average player, he has had a few promotions. Again, we saw him get promoted with Dulwich Hamlet. He also got promoted with AFC Telford, but he's also had a couple of relegations, relegated from League 2 with Wigan, promoted with Dulwich Hamlet again after previously being relegated. So he's had some up and downs in his career, but overall, he's done quite well. Something else that's astounding, 129 caps for the Philippines. We have a centurion of caps. How is he doing with the Philippines? And he's the captain of the Philippines. He's actually had quite an outstanding Filipino career. He's captained his national team. He's made 129 appearances, unfortunately, never scoring a goal. Still just the two-piece cup, so he never won a Southeast Asian Games or an Asian Cup. That's not super surprising. Probably losing a number of times to Thailand, looking at the Southeast Asian Championship, let's check the past winners. Yeah, Thailand's won all of them. They only made the final that one time. So our average player did get to a national team final. He's captained his country. So overall, I would say he's done pretty well. The last thing that I think is funny is that he actually has developed some player traits. I gave him an average weaker foot, I think. So it's funny that he avoids using his weaker foot and he runs with the ball through the center. So, and he's actually bounced around position wise. He can play DM, MC, right mid, left mid as a makeshift, and center back as a makeshift. So, again, he's done pretty well. He's had a pretty average career, and he's bounced around the English lower divisions. Overall, I would say a successful career for the average player who made a living of putting in kind of average performances. And I'll finish off by leaving the average player's biography up here in case you would like to read it. But after this, the average player retires, and this is the last we saw him in the game. So this is it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching the most average player. I really enjoyed making this guy the most mid player of all time and just all the funny ways that we can make him average with his height and weight and his birthday and playing him as a center mid so that he's even more mid. So this was a lot of fun to make. But thank you again for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and we'll be back with more content soon. Bye.